It's time for Around Town with Linda Staunch, Eastern North Carolina's premier public affairs program. Brought to you by Bojangles Chicken and Biscuits and Coastal Carolina Auto and Truck Center. And now, the host with her hand on the pulse of Eastern North Carolina, Linda Staunch.
Welcome to Around Town. I'm Linda Staunch, and welcome to historic Bath. It's a lovely town with a lot of old historic things to see, and we're going to take you on a tour of it. It also happens to be North Carolina's oldest town. It's going to be an interesting show, so you all stick with us, and we'll be right back.
Look, Dave, I like you, but there's something I gotta hear. Show me the chicken.
Show you the chicken?
No. Not show you the chicken. Show me the chicken.
Show me the chicken?
Come on, say it like you mean it.
Show me the chicken!
Congratulations, you're still my agent.
Here's a deal that's perfect for the game. The Bojangles Tailgate Special.
Gotta want need to get out of Bojangles.
You complete me.
It's amazing what people can do when they're confident in their equipment. You think about that. Then you build a range of turbocharged performance sedans with legendary Volvo safety. The 2005 Volvo S60s.
Now available at Coastal Carolina Volvo, where customers send their friends.
There's just something special about Eastern North Carolina. It's the places, the people, and Pepsi. And here's what people are saying about Pepsi.
If you grew up in Eastern North Carolina, Pepsi is a drink.
Pepsi-Cola was born right here in Eastern North Carolina.
Give me one good reason why I can't cook.
Well, you take too long, and you tend to burn.
What? They love my cooking. The TV dinners, blended things, toast. Toast is very important.
Right.
Precise control, even heat. It's how clean, efficient propane helps you make your meals their best. For a taste, visit usepropane.com.
Welcome back. We are on an expedition in history today, and we are in historic Bath, which is the oldest town in North Carolina. And I'm here with Patricia Samford. And Patricia, you're the expert around here. Now, I know that you've been working here at the Visitor Center for a while, and you have a great interest in history.
Yes.
Why is Bath so important?
Well, it's really a town of first. We're the oldest incorporated town in North Carolina. We're celebrating our 300th birthday this year. We also were the first official port of entry in North Carolina. We had the first Supreme Justice, which was Christopher Gale. We had the first library, and we have the oldest remaining church. So we really are a town of first.
You really are. And why is it so important to preserve these things and to let people know of the history of a place like Bath?
Well, it certainly, every place has its history, and I think that people need to feel that connection with the past and to learn about their town and their region's history and how what we were in the past affects who we are today. And I think that learning about that is very important for people.
Okay, so if somebody comes to Bath and they're interested in seeing North Carolina's oldest town, the town of First, what are they going to see? They're going to come here first to the Visitor Center?
I think the first thing to do to start you off on your visit is to come to the Visitor Center here right off of Highway 92. And we can provide you with maps of the town, a walking tour brochure that outlines all of the historic points in town. We also offer guided tours of two of our historic homes, the 1751 Palmer-Marsh house and the 1830 Bonner house. And we have a nice orientation video and some exhibit cases here and a whole house display of the history of Bath and the Vanderveer house. So
Okay,
there's lots to do here.
Lots to see, lots to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we happen to know that this as historic site is also on the register and is registered with the Department of Cultural Resources in North Carolina, is it not?
That's right. Bath itself, the town of Bath, is a National Register district, and the Palmer-Marsh House is on the National Historic Landmarks register as a specific house itself. But Historic Bath State Historic Site is part of the Department of Cultural Resources Division of State Historic Sites and one of 27 historic sites throughout the state.
Okay, and we're here in the museum, and there's a lot of things to get, a lot of things that interest children as well.
That's
and
very
I've
true.
got to say, Patricia, there's a lot of pirate lore here. Why? Tell us about that.
Well, you know, we've got this connection with the baddest pirate of all, Blackbeard. You know,
Why does everyone love him so?
Everybody loves him so. You know, since that movie, The Pirates of the Caribbean, and since the finding of the Queen Anne's Revenge, which was Blackbeard's flagship off of the coast of North Carolina, people have really sparked a revival of interest in Blackbeard. And, you know, he's got some connections with Bath. We know that he was here in town several times in the months before his death in 1718. He reputedly owned property outside of town at Plum Point, and archaeological excavations in the 1960s did find a house that dates to the right time period for it to have been Blackbeard's home. We also know that he reputedly married a local young woman named Mary Ormond, who was his final and 14th wife.
Oh my goodness.
So we do have a connection with Blackbeard here, and since about well over half of the visitors that come in through the door want to know about Blackbeard, we really do play that connection up.
It's a fascination we have, and we actually talked with some of the people on our last show that had been filming Pirates of the Caribbean with the Bounty, and everyone talks about this rapscallion, Blackbeard, and claims it. I know that in Beaufort and in Ocracoke and now in Bath as well.
Well, he was all over the North Carolina coast, so a lot of places in North Carolina have Blackbeard connections.
Okay, and we'll continue to do that.
That's correct.
All right, now if we're walking through, we've seen something about Blackbeard, and we're walking through. You tell us what you think is the most charming thing about Bath.
I think just the real small town feel and friendly feel in Bath, because it's such a small walkable town. Everybody knows everybody else. We only have 300 residents, just about the same number as years we are old. And so it's just a very friendly, nice place to live and nice place to visit. And that's the kind of comments we get from a lot of our visitors, is that this is just a really friendly, small, good feeling place to be.
And really it's something that, it's what North Carolina's all about. And
That's
if we
right.
started in a coastal seafaring way, maritime way, and actually moved inland. So we've got the history for the whole state, don't we?
That's right, we do.
Okay. Well, and if we're walking around, we're going to go in just a little bit. We're going to talk with some people at the church and at the one of the homes that you mentioned. But if someone were coming here again, you would want them to just stay and meander and enjoy the water and enjoy the history and enjoy the people as well.
We have a state dock that people can come and tie up for 72 hours at no charge. So that's a real incentive for people who are arriving by boat to come and visit us. We also have a beautiful grassy area down at the convergence of Bath and Back Creeks, where they flow out into the Pamlico River, and we have a very nice picnic area and grassy area down there that people can enjoy as well. So there's just really a lot of nice things to do.
That's
here in
great.
Bath.
One last question, and this may not be fair because you may not have researched it.
Okay.
Do you know where the name Bath came from?
Actually, that yes, we're named after the Earl of Bath in England.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Earl,
You're
for bringing us to Bath.
Okay.
And thank you, Patricia, for giving us some of the background and history about Bath, North Carolina's oldest town. You all stick with us, and we'll be right back.
It's amazing what people can do when they're confident in their equipment. You think about that. Then you build a range of turbocharged performance sedans with legendary Volvo safety. The 2005 Volvo S60s.
Now available at Coastal Carolina Volvo, where customers send their friends.
Oh, yeah.
Tame your big appetite. Ask for the Bojangles Tailgate Special.
There's just something special about Eastern North Carolina. It's the places, the people, and Pepsi. And here's what people are saying about Pepsi.
I absolutely love Pepsi Cola. When I come home from a hard day of work, that's the first thing I do is go to the refrigerator and grab an ice cold Pepsi.
I drink Pepsi because I was born in the Carolinas, just like me.
Give me one good reason why I can't cook.
Well, you take too long. And you tend to burn.
What? They love my cooking. The TV dinners, blended things, toast. Toast is very important.
Precise control, even heat. It's how clean, efficient propane helps you make your meals their best. For a taste, visit usepropane.com.
Welcome back. We are here in the oldest church in North Carolina, I believe. This is St. Thomas Episcopal Church, and we're here with our hostess, Bea Latham. Bea, thank you for bringing us to this lovely place. Tell us a little bit about this church, because it's one of your most famous historic sites.
Well, it is. It's the oldest remaining structure in Bath, so this also makes it important to Bath's history. It's the oldest remaining church in North Carolina. There certainly were other churches before this building was built, but this is the only one that has remained, and it's also been in continuous use from the time that it was built.
So it still has a congregation, and we still have worship services here every Sunday?
We do have worship services every Sunday. There has been times in St. Thomas's past that there may have only been 8 or 9 members of the church, but church continued on, and therefore now our congregation with people that have moved in is well over 100 again, so that makes church very exciting every Sunday.
And this has been, I believe you said your family has been worshiping here for many, many years.
They have. We have a long history with my family here, which makes it that much more important to me personally to be able to continue that family tradition.
Absolutely. And here in Bath, how many residents are in Bath?
There's roughly 280 residents that live in town. We do draw for our congregation as well as other town functions from outlying areas that are large waterfront communities that have popped up, but not exactly in the exact town of Bath itself.
Okay. Well, how was this church founded? By whom?
Well,
when?
When the town was founded in 1701, and almost immediately we believed that there was some type of church service. This area was set aside and called St. Thomas Parish, which in some terms meant it was like a county or a gathering area for certain people. We believe that they held churches in their homes for a large part of the time. Dr. Thomas Bray sent the 1,000-volume library here. That was sent to St. Thomas Parish, and of that library, the church now has the one remaining volume of that, the Explication to the Catechism, which is also another important artifact from our history here in Bath. The church was actually built in 1734 by John Garcia when he came here to be minister, and his time here lasted until 1744 when he was killed in a horse accident.
Okay. Now, how do you blend the old and the new? This is a church that's on the historic side and people come by and visit, and yet it's still a practicing church with a congregation. Does that cause problems from time to time?
I don't think it does. I think most of our members here find it very rewarding that people do take such an interest in our church. I think the one thing that makes us different from the historic side is that we still are a church. Even though we are somewhere people stop, it's not like the other structures that are owned by the state. We are not owned by the state. We're still a separate practicing church. But it's very interesting when the men come, the men of the church take turns mowing the yard, and they're just as eager to talk to visitors that want to ask questions as anybody at the visitor center would be.
History has its appeal, doesn't it?
It does, it really does.
Well, the courtyard is so interesting to me. It is just charming. Can you tell us a little bit about the courtyard?
Well, over time, the scenery around the church has changed. If you look at early pictures in the early 20th century, it was very grown up, covered in vines and ivy, because at that point in time, people had to be more concerned with how they were living their life and providing for their families. Now that we are a little more leisurely, I guess, there has been a group that has been very instrumental in redoing our churchyard and adding that special touch with flowers and bushes.
Historic preservation is an ongoing process, and sometimes there are threats to historic preservation, like storms. Have you seen any of that kind of devastation?
Well, we have been the brunt of some storms in the past year or 18 months. Last year when Isabel came through, we did lose quite a number of our cedar trees, but we have maintained that by making benches out of those trees for our churchyard as well.
What a wonderful way, so they can wander around and sit on the benches, which are made of the cedar
trees,
from the trees.
Absolutely.
And again, that scent is very distinctive as well.
Yes, it is.
And you've got some statuary out there that's pretty interesting too.
There's a small bust that came from a frieze work of Longleat Castle in England that was of a bishop, so that added a little bit of English touch, I guess, to our courtyard.
That's great. Why don't you take us to the next side and let's take a look at that house.
I'd be glad to.
Thank you. Welcome back. We're here in the Palmer-Marsh house, and Bea, would you tell us a little bit about who lived here and when?
Sure. This is the Palmer-Marsh house, and it was actually built by a man named Michael Staunch. He was a French mariner that came here in 1739. He built this home. And we believe the room that we're in right now, he used as a merchant shop. He had a 100-ton ship named the Newbern that actually went to Liverpool and brought back goods for the people that lived in this area. Probably the fancier things that not the everyday citizen could afford. But this room does open to the street, and that allowed him to have people in and close the door to the rest of the house and not disturb the family. But then the house is named for Colonel Palmer, who was the second owner, and he was sent here by the king. He was a port collector. So he did a lot of governmental type work here, we believe, and kept records. Okay. And then the Marsh family bought the house in 1802. And since they were a long-standing name in Bath, the Marsh part was added to the house when they named the house for touring in 1962.
Okay, well this house has some very distinguishing characteristics. Tell us about a few of them.
It does. One of the most distinguishing things about the house is probably the double chimney outside. And when you come from the visitor center area to the home, that is very prominent. It houses 4 fireplaces. There's 2 on each floor. And the neatest thing is that between the fireplaces, they actually built a room and put windows in the chimneys to allow extra air to move, and probably to use those for dressing rooms or pantry areas.
Very clever.
It was a very, very different way of doing things, very unique. Probably the other neatest thing that people like to see in this house is the basement. Basements are not something we have in Bath today. We live very close to the water table, so things stay pretty damp underground. But this was done in the colonial period, and that still is a basement today, and we actually tour down there and have it set up as a working kitchen.
Okay, that's wonderful. And you actually have tours of this house, don't you?
We do. We give tours of this house. In the summertime, it's every even hour. In the winter, on odd hours.
Okay. And the things that are in here, all the furnishings, are they authentic as well?
They're authentic to the period. We have nothing that belonged to the families that lived here. I guess all their ancestors got all their pieces. But we had extensive searchers go out in the early 60s when they acquired the property, and they found pieces from all over the world, actually, that fit the 1700 time period.
Okay, well, when you put on this wonderful costume and you walk in this beautiful room, does it take you back in time?
It does. There's a sense of being in a house that you know so many people have lived in, and probably so many important things have taken place here, that I think it's one of the most exciting things about the job. It doesn't matter how many times you tour here. I think you always feel a different feeling every time you come in and bring different groups of people that want to know about different types of people that have lived here. But it certainly adds to the ambiance of the house, I think, to when you come in costume.
It certainly does, and it's like taking a piece of history. You're walking back in time, and the footprints of those before you.
Exactly. I think one of the neat things of talking about footprints would be the staircase leading to the second floor, how the edges of the steps are worn from all the feet that have gone up and down the stairs, and I think that people comment about that a lot.
That's a great image. It's a great image, and it's a beautiful home, and we thank you for sharing it with us. You all stick with us. We're in the Palmer House, and we're going to some other places, and we'll be right back.
Look, Dave, I like you, but there's something I gotta hear. Show me the chicken.
Show you the chicken?
No. Not show you the chicken. Show me the chicken.
Show me the chicken?
Come on, say it like you mean it.
Show me the chicken!
Congratulations, you're still my agent.
Here's a deal that's perfect for the game. The Bojangles Tailgate Special.
Gotta want need to get out of Bojangles.
You complete me.
It's amazing what people can do when they're confident in their equipment. You think about that. Then you build a range of turbocharged performance sedans with legendary Volvo safety. The 2005 Volvo S60s.
Now available at Coastal Carolina Volvo, where customers send their friends.
We're with you all the way.
You gave 30 years of your life at the plant, worked through your shift, pulled overtime, whatever it took to fill the order. You missed your son's ball games and your daughter's recitals. Then you got hurt, and before you knew it, you got laid off. It's time for help. So if you've been injured on the job, call us. We can help.
At the Kellum Law Firm, when we take your case, we're with you all the way.
At Weyerhaeuser, we plant over 100 million new seedlings every year. Trees that can provide the roof over your head, the floor under your feet, the paper a favorite book is written on, and the chair that you sit on while you read it. That's the amazing thing about trees. You can be miles away from the forest, and they still touch you. Weyerhaeuser, the future is growing.
Welcome back. We're here again in the museum at the Visitor Center in Bath, and we're with Lynn Lewis. And Lynn, I know you've been very instrumental in trying to promote Bath, and its 300th anniversary. It's a big job.
It is.
Had to have cooperation of everyone, didn't you?
We have had long-time residents, new residents, the town council, the mayor, the historic site here. We've had cooperation from everyone.
Lynn, how involved does the state get involved in trying to promote the 300th anniversary of North Carolina's oldest town?
Well, seeing as though the historic site is a part of the Department of Cultural Resources, they have been very involved in helping us acquire funding. The Division of Tourism, we were able to get a grant from them to help fund our new website, which is historicbathnc.com, where people can find out all about the town and what we have planned this year.
Little shameless plug there.
Right, a little shameless plug. Every little bit helps. But we have gotten a lot of support. They've brought in interpreters for our different events, and especially for our opening ceremonies. When we did have the legislature here, it was very helpful because they helped us with the protocol and helped us make sure that we were doing everything we needed to be doing.
And that had to have been very exciting with the opening ceremonies, because y'all had a little blow in here then at that time, didn't you?
A little blow. The curse of Bath is alive and well.
Tell us real quickly, if you will, when did you start? When will you end? What is the actual date?
We started this celebration March the 8th, 2005. With a lot of excitement, and we will end, hopefully very quietly, March the 8th of 06. So it has been a year-long celebration, and we still have a lot more to do.
Well, that sounds wonderful. We're so glad that we could come and see just a little about what you have here. We wish you luck in the future, and thank you for helping to celebrate North Carolina's history. We've been with Lynn Lewis and the other fine folks in Bath. You all stick with us, and we'll be right back.
It's amazing what people can do when they're confident in their equipment. You think about that. Then you build a range of turbocharged performance sedans with legendary Volvo safety. The 2005 Volvo S60s.
Now available at Coastal Carolina Volvo, where customers send their friends.
Oh, yeah.
Tame your big appetite. Ask for the Bojangles Tailgate Special.
There's just something special about Eastern North Carolina. It's the places, the people, and Pepsi. And here's what people are saying about Pepsi.
My mother drank Pepsi, I grew up on Pepsi, and I drank Pepsi every day.
We love Pepsi with our barbecue.
I drink Pepsi because it started right here in Eastern North Carolina.
We're with you all the way.
You gave 30 years of your life at the plant, worked through your shift, pulled overtime, whatever it took to fill the order. You missed your son's ball games and your daughter's recitals. Then you got hurt, and before you knew it, you got laid off. It's time for help. So if you